When I make a bowstring, I normally... But today, we're gonna do it with no jigs and no special tools. To make sure I don't use anything that you wouldn't have, we're gonna go to the front office to build this string where we don't have any special tools or jigs. You're gonna need string material and serving material, something to cut with, something to hold the string with, a screw or a nail. You're also gonna need a tape measure, and then honorable mentions, but not necessary, some string wax and a lighter. If you've made a Flemish twist bowstring before like this guy, then it'll probably take you 20 to 30 minutes. If you've never made a bowstring before, plan for 45 minutes to 2 hours. Now that we got everything we need, let's go build this bowstring. The first thing we need to do is to determine the length of string we need to make. You can do that by measuring your current string from your bow, or if you don't have a current string, take AMO, subtract 3 inches for a long bow, 4 inches for a recurve. Now from your string length, we're gonna determine our bundle size. The Flemish twist is made of 2 bundles, and these bundles are gonna be 16 inches longer than our string length. So I'm making a 57¼ inch string. I'm going to make 73¼ inch bundles for this string. Remember, string length plus 16 inches is the length of your bundles. Now I'm using D97 bowstring material. With this, I'm gonna do a 14 strand string. So that's 7 strands in each bundle. One way to do this would be to put 2 screws in a board, half the distance of the length of your bundles, wrap it around, and then cut them. But I said no jigs, so no jigs.
Wait, that's a screw in a board.
It's just to measure from. All right, I know I said no jigs, but I'm gonna measure to the end of this chair so I don't have to remeasure every time. Remember that when you're doing this, it doesn't have to be exact. Actually, if there's a little bit of variance, it's actually helpful. For my 7th strand, I'm gonna use a different color in this bundle. That's gonna help us later when we're doing back twist. So now I'm gonna line up all 7 of these strands, and I want them to be within about 2 inches. And then repeat. Now, if you have wax, you can use the wax to make this into a solid bundle, or most strings come pre-waxed, so you can just rub your hand on it like this. So now I've got 2 bundles that are 16 inches longer than my desired string length, 7 strands each, with the tag ends ending within 2 inches of each other. If you're doing B55, I'd recommend a 12 strand bowstring, and with 652 Spectra, I'd recommend a 16 strand bowstring. Now, the next thing I'm gonna do is offset these bundles about 1 inch. That's gonna help with the tag ends popping out in different places. Now I'm going to pinch the bundles 9 inches from the tip of the longest string. The Flemish twist is simple, but can take some practice. You're gonna twist your bundles to the right and cross them to the left. The key is to twist in the opposite direction you're crossing them. I'm gonna do about 3 of these. I'm gonna clamp right behind where I did my Flemish. Just gonna drop that over the screw and then repeat. Twisting into the right, crossing to the left. For the bottom loop, I'm gonna take it to about 3½ inches before I bring the loop together. Take the clip off of the screw, and now I'm gonna match up the colors. So I got 2 bundles over here, 2 bundles over here, matching them up, and then I'm gonna pull them tight. When I cinch that down, it's giving me about a 1½ inch loop. So a little big, but that's okay. Now, repeat the Flemish all the way down past to where the tag ends pop out. At this point, we're going to use our clip and cinch that off so it doesn't come undone. Now these strings are twisted together, these 2 bundles, so I'm just going to untwist those. So that they're 2 separate bundles. Now this is why I mix the colors together for the back twist, because when the colors are mixed, I can see how much twist is in the string. What I like to do is take the twist out of the string that were put in it from the first loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The reason for back twist is so that the individual bundles will lie flat together when you're done with the string. What we're doing is we're taking the twist out of the string from the first loop, and then we're going to put this twist into the string that we're going to be caused by the second loop, so that once we finish the second loop, there's no twist in the string. So if it takes you 5 twists to take the twist out from the first loop, put in 15 twists on top of that. So you're gonna triple what it takes to take them out. Now we're gonna measure for our second loop. I'm gonna leave the string on our screw there and put the tape measure on the screw. Whatever you want your finished length to be, subtract 1.25 inches from that and pinch right there. So I want 57.25, so I'm gonna pinch at 56 inches. Now we're gonna repeat the process for the second loop, which is gonna be our top loop. So Flemish twist, cross, twist, and cross. 3 of those. I'm gonna try a paper clip on this one, see how that works. It's a bit loose.
Don't use a paper clip.
Don't use a paper clip. Now for this top loop, I'm gonna want about 4 inches of Flemish to give me a little bit bigger loop for the top. The reason for that being is that when you're gonna string your bow, you can slide the top loop down the limb. Now for this top loop, I'm gonna want about 4 inches of Flemish to give me a little bit bigger loop for the top. The reason for that being is that when you're gonna string your bow, you can slide the top loop down the limb. Same thing, bring it together. When you get to this point where the tag ends are popping out, totally fine, just let them pop out. You can let them pop out early or you can try and keep them tucked in. Doesn't really matter. Why? Because we're gonna trim them later. So you know where to stop your Flemish by going about 1 inch past the last tag end. Now I'm gonna take the twist out of the middle part of this string, and then also you can see from me doing the Flemish, there's a bunch of twists right here, right underneath where I was Flemishing it. I'm gonna take that out and just kind of spread it throughout the middle. I can take all my clamps off, and I'm gonna twist the string counterclockwise. This part's very important, because if you twist it the other way, the string's gonna fall apart. Now I'm gonna twist it up until it's about 3/4 inch less than what I want it to be, because we haven't stretched this string yet. So 56.5, that should do. To finish out my string, I'm gonna put it on the bow. Smaller loop is the bottom loop. Now I'm just gonna trim these tag ends. You can use a utility blade, scissors, sharp knife. Just gonna pull them tight and cut them off. You don't have to trim these, you can leave them just like this if you want to. To put your string under tension, you can put it on your bow. You can stretch it out with a clamp or a winch of some sort. Now for serving the bowstring. If you have a serving jig, that's great, use that, but we're not using jigs today. So we're just gonna do it by hand. So I'm starting at the top, point it down the string. I'm gonna wrap the serving over itself. About 5 times. Pull that guy out of the way and keep going. Now I got to catch up with my spool. We're just going to wrap it around the string about 150 times, however long it takes to get to 10 inches. You know what I've realized recently?
What's that?
Not a lot of things are that hard. They're just hard to do quickly. Like almost anything. Like hiking the incline, it's, you know, it's medium difficulty if you go slow. Like it's not that hard if you go really, really slow. Almost anyone can do it if you go really, really slow. So it's like, this isn't hard. It's just hard to do quickly. Once you get your serving down to about where you want it, you're gonna cut it with about 12 inches to 2 feet. I wrap it like this. And then inside of itself 7 times. And then I'm going to run the serving back in the direction of the rest of the serving and then wrap over top of what I just did. And now I'm going to pull this tag in tight and it's going to cinch all this down. I'm going to trim over here. If you want to burn where you just trimmed, you can, but you don't have to. And that's how you build a bowstring. If you want to know how to set a knocking point, check out this video. And don't build your own bowstring. But if you want to, if you really want to. If you do want to build your own bowstring and you don't want to buy an entire spool of bowstring material, especially with D97 Fast Flight, that can be expensive. I created a kit, a Flemish twist bowstring build-it-yourself kit, where you can customize the colors you want, the length you need. We'll cut the bundles for you at the exact length you need them, and then send you that with the serving, with some bowstring wax. We'll even include a clip for your convenience. Don't use a paper clip, binder clip. Stay shatterproof. Guess I gotta take this call.